He probably wants to move my eggs. Whew. It's kind of bright in here. Good morning. Thanks for joining me on my morning tasks that I do every day after Rob and Corey have left. This is a really good sandwich. I'll be back. So sorry about that. My dog had an emergency poop sesh that he had to do, and he was telling me about. This is super tasty. I think I've already told you that though. Anyway, my name's Carly. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I am gonna take a sip. Or guzzle. Yes, I have 2 drinks. By the by, if anybody lives near an Aldi, the mango passion fruit juice is very good. It's also very sweet, and I probably shouldn't be drinking it, but it's very good. So, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly. I am a married 44-year-old mom with a child, an adult now, because he's 19, who is on the spectrum. He is what would be considered level 3. So he is one of those kids, or one of those individuals, I should say, because he's no longer a child, that's always going to need assistance living, always. So, I do vlogs, family vlogs of us going on adventures, what day in the lives are like. So that's really what my page is about. I enjoy making vlogs and I enjoy making content, and I wanted to talk today about the mess that is me, or why I am so messy, so to speak. So over the course of the pandemic, it started like in 2020, I had kind of resolved myself to just like trying to figure out what happened, like why I am the way that I am. Like, I know there were certain aspects of my life that were not the most enjoyable in my life, but I've always been one of those people that has always known certain things about my family. Like, I know my whole family is codependent. I was raised by the child of an alcoholic. She has always known that she is a child of an alcoholic. So it's like, we know about the codependency. We know about it. We know all about it. But what I was always trying to figure out is like, what exactly is the trauma that me specifically? I have 2 older sisters that we've all faced our own issues with trauma. The one that the 3 of us share, and I didn't really realize that it was traumatic until probably, I knew it was an issue, but I didn't exactly accept the fact that it was so traumatic until the pandemic started, is the fact that we were totally and completely abandoned by our father. My parents got married and had, oh, sorry, my dog just jumped up on it was funny. Sorry, back to my sidetrack. My parents were married in 70. Were married in 1970. They were only married for about 8 years. They had 3 kids during that relationship. My 2 older sisters and me, because once you hit perfection, just kidding, totally know that, not perfect, but when my parents got divorced, it was due to infidelity on my father's side. My dad didn't really want to have anything to do with us after that. Now, I will say this, growing up, my mom never made it, she never said anything like disparaging about him as a father, which I have to give her a lot of credit for because she very well could have done that. I appreciate her doing that because that left the door open for all of us to kind of make our own generalizations and assumptions, and have our own thoughts about him, or have our own, like, for, of course right now the word is escaping me, but have our own opinion of this person, of my dad. Well, my dad made it very clear that he didn't really want to have any type of relationship with us. We would have and I remember this when I was a child, like periodically we would get checks for like Christmas, we would get presents for Christmas, but it was like real, like few and far between, and it was incredibly inconsistent. But there was, at one point in time, it was just like, he just kind of stopped. And it was like, I think right after my sister had turned 20, like my oldest sister had turned 21, that it just, we stopped her. Or was she 26? I feel like maybe she was 26. Anyway, any conversation or any interaction with him was sparse, was few and far between. We never heard from him on our birthdays. We never heard from him during the high holidays, anything like that. We never heard from him. And then he got sick and he passed away in 2016. And none of us went to the funeral. We could have, but we just collectively as a family were just, there was just like, I have a lot of feelings about that I probably will touch on in another video. But right now, I wanted to tell you that story to tell you this story. And I don't know why I'm screwing with this mouse right now. It's a computer now, it's not an actual mouse. That would be weird. So in those first clips that I showed you are what are affectionately known, apparently in the TikTok community, as doom piles. I have always had doom piles in my life. And I recently saw a TikTok. If I'm on TikTok, I'm Positively Carly on TikTok if you would like to follow me there. But I saw a TikTok with a gentleman who owns a company cleaning out hoarder houses. And to me, I'm like, honestly, 100%, God bless you for doing that kind of work, because that's hard. That's hard. It's hard to let somebody in your space, and then it's hard to allow them to clean up after you when you are immensely capable of doing it yourself. If you are immensely capable of doing it yourself, great. If you're not, that's a whole other story. But this gentleman said something that resonated to my core about it. He said that this isn't laziness. Like when you go into someone's home and they are a hoarder, it's not about them being lazy. It's not that things got out of hand. It has nothing to do with being lazy, because it's not laziness. It's trauma. And I have held on to that thought for months. And I was trying to figure it out, but when he said that, one person popped in my mind, and that was my father-in-law. My father-in-law was my kindred spirit. I loved him so much. When he passed away, it was one of the most devastating losses I had ever experienced. And here's why. My father-in-law and I had very similar upbringings. He too was abandoned by his mom and was abandoned by his dad. And so it was like one of those things that we both bonded over again. And yes, it was a trauma bond, and I realize that's what it was now. But we also bonded over our need for stuff and our need to not clean. And I realized that the cleaning is something that you feel better when it's done. Like, yes, we've cleaned, it's fine. The situation with the traumatized mind, at least my traumatized mind, is that I know it's not going to stay that way. I know it's not going to stay that way. And there is a huge part of me with all of my doom piles that I showed you all over my house, is that, do they get to me? Absolutely they do. Will there come a day where I'm just like, screw it, I need to clean it. I can't deal with it anymore. That day will come. Yes, absolutely. But the other day is going to also come where things start piling up and it's going to be too overwhelming and I'm not going to want to deal with it. And I've realized that when it gets to the point of being overwhelming is when I absolutely need to deal with the actual issue of why I don't want to clean. And that issue is always typically the perfectionist in me. It's like, if I clean it, it has to stay clean, and I know it won't stay clean. And then I will be completely and totally disappointed in myself that I can't make this work, that I'm too lazy to clean. And the truth of the matter is, I'm not too lazy. I'm not lazy. I'm not a lazy person, because there are certain aspects of my life that I am immensely disciplined in. I get up every morning and make my son breakfast and lunch, and my husband breakfast and lunch, and I make myself breakfast and lunch. I get dressed. I go to work every single day. I am able to brush my teeth, have regular hygiene habits. I am disciplined in those areas of my life. But it is being traumatized and it's more than the whole being traumatized part about it. It's the being traumatized by the person that is supposed to take care of you is awful. It is a situation where I don't know about anybody else, but I know that this was something that my father-in-law struggled with, but it's the same thing that I struggled with as well. It's the thought of knowing that no matter what you do, it'll never be good enough. Because the people that are supposed to love you and take care of you and are always supposed to tell you that you are good enough aren't there. So I was raised in a house by two people. One, sadly, was dealing with their own situation. So sadly, they became a little bit more emotionally neglectful than they should have been with us. The other person was a total and complete control freak who was a humongous narcissist, constantly made you feel like everything you did wasn't good enough. So within that, it's like, no matter what I do isn't good enough, and that just stays with you. That just stays with you. But the manner of speaking when you're being told that you're not good, that what you do is not good enough, it always came from being clean, from keeping the house clean or keeping my room clean. Me and my sister shared a room until my oldest sister went to college, and then she moved into her. Anyway, long story short, we were messy. We were kids. We didn't know how to clean. Nobody set an example on how to do that. Our subject of cleaning, or how we would clean, is like, oh, people are coming over, so let's clean. It was always chaos. It was always chaos cleaning. So it's like, oh, people are coming over, so we have to clean. We have to make sure everything looks presentable. And it's like, you could never have friends. It's like we could never have friends over because the house was always a mess. And it got to the point where the older I have, or it's gotten to the point that the older I've gotten, the more I'm just like, I can only deal with what I can deal with. And I'm very aware of that now. And I know that the mess needs to be dealt with. I'm aware of that. I also know that it isn't a matter of perfectionism. It's not a matter of being perfect. It's just a matter of being disciplined. And it's not a matter of being lazy, because I know I'm not a lazy person. But I do know that I need to develop discipline, a disciplined habit for staying or for keeping my home at least in an orderly manner. I don't necessarily mind if it looks lived in, but it's like I have a catch-all table in my dining room. I haven't been able to eat on my dining room table in months. I still have all those birthday bags from Corey's birthday, which was in July of last year. And my doom pile in my bedroom and my trash in my bedroom, that's a me issue for sure. But I am here to say that there's one area where I have actually been very good at. Last month, I told myself, if you do nothing else to keep your house clean, you have to take the kitchen trash out every single night. Every single night before you go to bed, it has to be taken out. And I have actually been very good about doing that for the entire month. And it's, you know, it's becoming a, what they say, it takes 21 days to develop a habit. So it is becoming a habit. And I am very proud of myself for doing that. So, that being said, we are all on a journey to try to be better people and trying to be better to ourselves. And I just want to share, I wanted to share that with you. And if you have any comments or any suggestions on how I can better be disciplined in keeping my home clean, I would appreciate that. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it here because I actually do need to finish eating and get ready to go to work. So I hope everyone has a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks, bye.